Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and today I am doing a Valentine tutorial. I usually would already have it on my face in my intro, but I forgot to film one. So I guess it's just gonna be a surprise when you get there. But if you want a nice, easy, soft pink look or some inspiration for Valentine's Day, then keep on watching. Okay y'all, so I actually already have my base face on and I did do a little bit of underpainting with some pink blush, but I'll add some pink later on. Now, the whole point of this tutorial is I'm actually not going to make it specifically on a palette. I'm gonna just play with some pink eyeshadows and do a beautiful soft pink look, perfect for Valentine's Day. This one's gonna be a little bit more simple, a little bit quick, and a little bit easier to do. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do a bolder red look for Valentine's Day, probably like a red and purple because I really enjoy that combination. But I do have several pink palettes in front of me. I actually, when I was going through my collection, I was surprised quite a few of these are discontinued, but I'm like on the fence. Do I show you these pink palettes or do I just go into a pink look? I'll show you some of my pink palettes. So I do have in front of me, which was like a perfect palette to grab, was the Natasha Denona Love palette. This one was released a few years ago, like quite a few years ago, but apparently this one has been discontinued. This is a perfect Valentine palette, but the other one I picked out was from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is one of those Norvina Pro Pigment palettes. I went on their website, they have all of them except for this one. I was like, goddamn. So this one is, you know, got some beautiful pink shades in here. And I'm apologizing now, my allergies are killing me. Like I am taking my Claritin. I have like one of those things that spray, like the Flonase in my nose. But my eyes are still like super itchy and I feel a little congested, so I'm sorry. But I also have the Pat McGrath. Now I know this palette is still available to purchase, but just not in the rose gold packaging. This is the Mothership Divine Rose. So it's this palette right here. I have a Glam Light. Is this a quad or is there 5 shadows in here? Oh, I lied, there's 6 shadows in here. So I have the Hershey Kisses collaboration. This is the Lava Cake. So all of these shades are pink. So, I mean, I can keep going because I still have more on my desk. I also, when I have been doing pink looks this month, because I've gone out a few times, I've done a few pink looks, I've just been reaching for my blends palette. So I've been using this palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and there's just this beautiful row right here where you got your pinks and your reds. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this tutorial with playing with pinks. So this look is actually going to be perfect for me today because I'm actually, so Keegan and I actually have a dinner to go to this evening downtown at a French restaurant. So I feel like maybe something a little bit more subtle and a little bit less bold might be more appropriate. But we were gonna go downtown, have dinner with friends at a French restaurant downtown. I'm not familiar with the restaurants in the Houston, like in the Loop, because I live outside of the Loop. And I'm just like, not calling everyone who lives in the Loop in Houston pretentious, but you might be. There's like some people who are. My friends aren't, but I have definitely ran into those who are. So I went ahead and primed my eyes with the Beauty Creations Color-Based Primer in Ballerina Girl. This is like one of those products that I am so close to using up. I am very proud of myself. I have been seeing a lot of these Project Pan videos come across my feed with products that people really want to use up by the end of the year. I'm thinking about maybe filming one of those. I do see people put like eyeshadow palettes and stuff in there. I am not that kind of girly. I don't like the idea of hitting pan of an eyeshadow palette. That's just me. But I do have like complexion products, primer, skincare, and stuff like that that I do want to use up. So I'm like, should I film one? I don't know. Now I'm gonna start off with a soft pink shade, and I'm gonna use a matte shade. So I'm going through all these palettes I picked out and seeing what I can find. So, and I'm gonna take that soft pink shade and I'm kind of gonna brush it almost over the entirety of my lid. With this being a Valentine tutorial, I figured I'd share a little bit about my personal love life, even though it is very complicated. And that is because this is the first Valentine's where it's just going to be Keegan and I because of this separation and the divorce. So I used to be in a polyamorous relationship for 8 years, okay? There were 3 of us. It was a closed triad, and we have 3 kids together. And last May, things just weren't great. And honestly, things weren't great for quite some time. And so originally we all were going to go our separate ways. Keegan and I chose to work out the issues, and Keegan and I are doing great, but there is the divorce with our ex-partner. And so technically, legally, I'm not going through a divorce, okay? Because I was not legally married. I have never been legally married, but he has. And so this, because of all of that, right? This is the first Valentine's Day that Keegan and I get to spend with each other. And I'm actually kind of excited about it because I can think of past Valentine days and they weren't very fun. There's a lot of arguing, and I'm looking forward to not having any arguments and just kind of enjoying the day, going out to dinner and enjoying our weekend together. So I kind of put this soft pink just in my inner corner and then brushing it into my crease because I'm gonna use a darker pink for the outer corner, but I'm kind of just like spreading it all over my lid because this is supposed to be quick and easy, so I won't be like cutting creases or anything like that. Definitely gonna do the more complicated look tomorrow, but just a nice wash of pink on the eyes. Now I wanna use like a hot pink, okay? So like a bubblegum hot pink would be the shade, but I wanna keep it matte. I don't wanna add any sparkle yet. And I'm gonna use that in my crease from the center of my eye down to the outer corner. But I'm gonna take that bubblegum pink, which has been a shade that I've been enjoying all of February. Like I went out on Sunday night and I did a nice little pink look, pink and red look, just using the blends palette, and I used a lot of the hot pink, and that look came out really nice. So I'm gonna take that hot pink and I'm going to press it into my crease from the center of my lid. I'm gonna bring it all the way down to the end in the outer corner of my eye, but I'm not really gonna buff it up yet. I'm just gonna kind of deepen it into the crease. And then I'm gonna start to blend it with the softer pink that I laid in the crease towards the inner corner. I feel like some people, like I'm trying to think when it comes to the makeup world, what colors really intimidate me. And honestly, none of them do anymore. But I know a lot of people are intimidated by like reds and pinks because if you do it the wrong way, it kind of does make it look like you have pink eye or some type of eye infection, which nobody wants that look. It is not a good look. So I figured if I did some easy tutorials, it might inspire others and try to step a little bit outside your comfort zone, do a little bit of pink eyeshadow, you know, and you got the holiday of love, you know, which would be perfect to have a pink eyeshadow look. So I am just deepening out that hot pink so that way it pops. And if you are curious on what palettes that I am using, I'm not gonna mention them in the video, but I might put them in the description. I usually put everything that I'm wearing on in the description, all the way from my skin prep, you know, like every product that is on my face, because I feel like skin prep does make a huge difference. But I will put them, if you are curious, what palettes I used and what shades I used. Okay, so I got that hot pink crease. I'm gonna go back into that softer pink and I'm gonna kind of blend everything together and then soften the edges of my hot pink. So I'm going to take a deeper and darker pink on a very precise brush, because what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to put it in the outer corner and lightly buff towards the center. So it's just enough to add a little bit of depth, like just a smidge. I don't even know if you can see it on my brush, but I'm just wanting to add depth and not really darken the eye. And I'm kind of just patting it in and then slightly buffing it towards the inner corner. And now I feel bad because I feel like I should have zoomed y'all in. And even then I feel like I could have gone a shade darker. I'm gonna try to go for a shade darker. So this is almost like a pink toned burgundy. There we go. Because what's gonna make this look is the shimmer, okay? Because it's supposed to be nice, easy, but you still got like the pinkness. And so what I'm going to do is pick a shimmer. And then from there, after I pick my shimmer, I'm gonna go ahead and like add like a color in between. Or maybe I should just go ahead and go with that hot pink. Yeah, I'm gonna actually add a little bit more pink before I get into the shimmer. And so this next shade is going to be darker than the hot pink, but lighter than the deeper shade that we laid in. I'm also gonna be inserting swatches of the shades that I'm using, like swatched on my wrist. So that way you kind of get an idea of what colors I'm talking about. But I'm gonna take that shade and I'm going to put it on the edge of where I have the darker shade and blend it towards the center of my eyelid before I get into some shimmers. Now, I personally lately have been loving like the diamond look on the eyes. So Patrick Ta has those eye illusion duos where you have like those translucent base with a lot of sparkle. I've been loving that. I did a video where I duped that product in all different ways. So I'm gonna use a product like that. So I'm gonna use a sparkle that has a translucent base, like a pink one. And I'm gonna be applying that in my inner corner. I also feel like if you have a large collection of pink blushes, you could totally do all the matte in the eyes with pink blushes, in my opinion. So now I'm just going to use a darker pink shimmer to tie in the mattes and the light pink shimmer. Now the shade I'm using is like a finger kind of shade. So I'm just gonna press it in between. Now personally, I like a wing with all of my eye looks. So I'm gonna add a wing and then I'll come back and work on the face. Y'all, the entire time I was doing my eyeshadow, filming this tutorial, my little earring was just dangling. It's not supposed to dangle. It's supposed to be a cuff. Oh well. So I went ahead and threw on a false lash. Like it's actually two different pieces because I cut my lashes in 2/3. I don't put lashes in my inner corner. I'm a contact wearer. It's super irritating. Plus I really just want to do a fluffy on the outside, not on the inside. So I went ahead and added a lash. I don't know what they are. And the reason I don't know what they are is because I have this container, it's actually a ramekin, full of lash pieces, okay? Just tiny bits of lashes that have been cut up and I kind of just like go through and find two that match and just call it a day. Probably not the best way to organize my lashes, but sometimes I just peel them off when I've had enough, okay? And that's just where they end up. So that's the lashes that I put on my eyes. But now I'm gonna go ahead and focus on the under eye and I'm gonna kind of keep it dark and sultry. Like not like dark as in like black, but like sultry as in like sexy. So I'm going to take an angled liner brush. So just one of these. And I'm gonna go back into that darkest shade that I applied earlier. So I'm gonna be placing that on my outer corner. I'm just going to be like pressing it and bringing it to about halfway through my eye. And then I'm gonna take that bubblegum pink shade that I used as well. And I'm gonna be using that for the rest of my under eye because I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of glitter or highlight and kind of tap that into the inner corner. So I'm taking a hot pink shade. I'm sure you can kind of see it on my brush. And do the rest of the under eye. And what I like to do is kind of just like line it and press the powder down, like push it down. Because then I'll take a fluffy brush with a lighter shade and kind of just mix it all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that a light pink, which this is actually the same light pink I used for like the crease and like the first shadow I laid down on my eyes. And I'm gonna take it and I'm going to just kind of like put it underneath my eye, blending those shades together and kind of smoking it out a little bit. And then to finish it off, I like to take a little bit of my under eye powder. So just a brightening pink powder and a fluffy brush. This is all I use this brush for. And I'm going to use it to basically soften the under eye so everything's nice and blended. And then I'm also gonna take a little bit of that powder and do it to the top. So just like under the brow and kind of blur and blend the shades I laid down, but also kind of brightening it up a little bit. Okay, so I quickly had to go change my clothes because like I wasn't gonna wear a pink crop top that had skeleton hands grabbing my tits to a nice restaurant. But I'm gonna go ahead and add some pink blush. So I'm gonna use like a hot pink just right here. So I'm using a powdered hot pink blush and I'm kind of just like putting it on my temple, swooping it down, even under my eyes a little bit, and then up the side of my face. And then I'm gonna take like a softer pink, like those trending pinks. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Dior blush, or like, I think One Star has like a blush trio that's really popular as well. It's like a super pastel pink, and I'm gonna use that to blend that shade out. It's supposed to be like flattering on all skin types. I'm still playing around with that kind of shade of blush to even know if I like it, to be honest. But I do like it to blend out other shades of pink. So that's what this, see? Just like a nice little bit of color, but not too much because I am going to do a pretty bold lip. I'm gonna go with red, okay? So what I'm gonna do is use like a true red shade. I'm gonna use that as my lip liner, and then obviously my lipstick. So red lip liner, then I'm gonna use a red like true red liquid lipstick. So there's my red lip. And then after this red lip sets, I'm gonna go ahead and actually top it off with a pink lip gloss. So the one I picked actually has like this ultra shine effect to it. It doesn't have any glitter in it, which personally when it comes to glosses, that's what I prefer. But it's not, you can't see it on camera, but in person you can kind of see like a little bit of like a pink, not a shift to your lips, but where it kind of changes it from like a blood red to a red pink shade. And I think it's perfect to match the eyes. So this is my final look. So to me, like doing something like this monochromatic, it's super simple, super easy, but it's just perfect for like a Valentine date night. But if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'll have a much bolder tutorial coming tomorrow. So until next time, bye y'all.